The second week of VCT Americas Stage 1 has completed, and with half of the teams trying to continue their win streak, while others were trying to secure their first win of the stage, we were graced with some fun games. The first day of the weekend gave us NRG vs FURIA, two 0-1 teams desperate for their first win. This stage isn't very long, so starting 0-2 would make the road to Masters Toronto incredibly difficult. The series would start on Lotus, where both teams would run the same comps they played last week. Both sides had pretty good performances on this map as well, with FURIA picking up a 9-3 half against G2 despite losing in the end, and NRG picking up a comfortable 13-6 win over Cloud9. This map would start in FURIA's favor, with them picking up a pretty solid 5-1 lead, but NRG would keep FURIA in their grasp, pulling the half back to a 6-6 scoreline. FURIA would start the second half by taking the pistol in the bonus, but with some W streamer magic, NRG brought the score back to a tie at 9-9. Because Havoc has to clear so slow with that off. Nice song. Hype moments and aura! That's all this team has, bro! Hype moments and aura! What is happening, bro? Hello? FURIA would eventually put together a streak of rounds with some insane plays, ending the map at 13-10.
This? I don't think NRG will be. The Prowler through, Havoc pops the ult, they're stunned up, they're trying to tuck tail and get away, but Havoc gets to make that three! Disaster for NRG! Destroyed! As FURIA get to map point! Just two now, he drops him, it's all onto Sam, and he will fall. FURIA take Lotus.
On the second map Pro, NRG had switched their comp slightly compared to last week, taking Mata off of Neon and putting him onto Jet, while keeping the rest the same. FURIA on the other hand picked a single duelist comp with Havoc on Neon, alongside KO, Cypher, Sova, and Astra. Going into the second map, the conversations were around can FURIA end the series at 2-0, and with NRG's abysmal performance on Pearl last week against Cloud9, many people, including myself, thought the upset was extremely possible. Unfortunately for FURIA, NRG clearly learned from their mistakes from last week. This will be NRG's most dominant map so far this year with a 10-2 attack half, closing the map at 13-2 and sending the series to the final map Fracture. This final map would show us mirror comps from both sides, so it will come down to one simple thing: which side had Mata? NRG's Mata would end this third map at 26-9, leading his team to a 13-4 victory, giving them the series at 2-1. The second series of the day was Sentinels vs Crew, two teams coming off of pretty solid wins at week 1. Sen had just manhandled 100 Thieves, and despite a shaky start, Crew picked up a sick win over LOUD, showing a high level of resilience in this team. And now they were playing against each other, trying to stay undefeated in this split. The first map, Lotus, would be the first time we'd see Crew play this map this year, and they would pick a comp that was very on meta, with Yoru, Breach, Taeho, Vice, and Omen, while Sentinels would run the double smokes comp they've been playing since Bangkok. This map would start pretty back and forth, with neither side able to pull away with a solid lead.
Vibrating with anticipation, here they come, they're hit with a paranoia, it's devastating, and Bang is ready for Melson to take that high ground!
The first half would end in a 6-6 tie, but the second half would be dominant from Crew, only losing their bonus round and taking the map at 13-7. The second map, Icebox, would start quite a bit better for Sentinels, putting together a decent streak of rounds.
Carve up the map and allow Crew to get in behind it, but it doesn't matter, Zekin fires up for two, Adverso sitting duck!
Crew would still have their own clutch moments though, keeping the map close, ending that half at 7-5 in Sentinels' favor, but not before we got an ace from Zekin.
Playing the race line.
Oh my gosh! Zekin!
That is filthy.
He's going for more! He wants the ace! Oh my gosh! No, bro! The second half would give us a similar story to the first map though, with Crew only allowing Sentinels a single round, taking the map at 13-8 and the series at 2-0. This second map would be absurdly good from Crew's Mazzino, with him clutching out massive rounds for Crew, which led to this win.
Is in for free, surely looking to excise a toll now, but it's awkward. He's got to swing out and get a trade at best, but it's Mazzino, vintage Mazzino. Able to use that ultimate now, give Bang the hot foot, he's stunned up, but he misses a golden opportunity. Bang healthier right now, has to keep moving here. Mazzino launches him out. Oh my god, that is dirty business.
The second day of the weekend opened with 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses. EG were coming off of a pretty solid win over Ascension Team 2G in week 1, and were looking to keep up their momentum in this matchup. On the other side though, 100 Thieves were coming off of a pretty bad loss to Sentinels, looking like possibly the worst team in North America after that performance. This series would open on Fracture, and while EG would come in with the same comp we saw from them in kickoff, it will be the first time we saw it from 100 Thieves this year, and we will be getting a treat. It hurt my soul! Are we playing Chamber?
Weirdo where I could say...
Is Crow on Chamber? Nah, we're gonna win, we're gonna win, we're gonna win! This map would start with EG picking up the first 3 rounds, but a Thrifty would allow 100TU to stop the bleeding and keep the half close, ending at 6-6. The second half would start with EG picking up the pistol, but another Thrifty win for 100 Thieves would give them the boost they needed to pull away with a 10-7 lead, and although Evil Geniuses fought back, 100TU would close the map at 13-10. The second map, Haven, would be one we had already seen from both teams, and the comps would stay the same. This first half would be extremely back and forth, with neither team picking up a solid lead, ending at 6-6. The second half though would be very strong from 100 Thieves, only allowing Evil Geniuses a single round, taking the map at 13-7, giving them the series at 2-0, and making this black man very happy.
Yes! We gotta win! They gotta win, man! Thank you!
Crowd sales popped off in this series, with a KD of 54 and 26 in 2 maps, as well as having a 7-0 first kill first death ratio in the series. The second series of the second day would be one I personally was very excited to see, MIBR vs G2. MIBR were coming off of a very good look in week 1 against LEVIATÁN, with a pretty clean 2-0 win, despite still integrating a new player and language into the team. So I was interested to see how they would perform with more time against the current best team in Americas. The first map, Pearl, would show us a new comp from G2, with them moving away from the double Sentinel and going towards double Initiator with Taeho and Fade. Meanwhile, MIBR would put Aspas onto Waylay and play Taeho and KO. And of course, Aspas will make his Waylay debut with a 4K in the pistol round.
The Waylay, by the way, in the hands of Aspas, and what a way to open things up.
So far not too shabby. Good shooting there as Aspas has found a couple. And Trent now trying to sit back behind that special delivery, but Aspas has the angle. Only 2 of them. He's been absurd. There's Aspas, a beautiful little 4-piece to kick us off.
MIBR would of course pick up the anti-eco, but G2 would pick up a big streak of rounds, going up 6-3. MIBR would recover this half though, tying the score at 6-6. The second half would be very back and forth, with neither team able to pull away with a solid lead, resulting in overtime where MIBR would win at 14-12, putting them 1 map away from a win over the Bangkok runners-up. The second map, Haven, would show us the same comp we'd seen from G2 all year, while it would be our first time seeing it from MIBR. They would run close to the default comp, but would substitute the Sova for Taeho. G2 would open this map with a 4-0 lead, but MIBR would once again fight back, pulling the score close, ending the half at 7-5 in favor of G2. The second half would be extremely back and forth, with neither team getting more than 2 rounds in a row, ending with G2 taking the map at 13-11, sending the series to the final map ascent. On this last map, we would once again see the Waylay comp from G2, while MIBR would come in with the comp we saw a lot last year, basically the default comp, but with Cypher instead of Killjoy. This first half would, just like the other maps, start strong for G2, with a 6-1 lead. And no matter what MIBR would do, it seemed like they could not put together a round win.
Verno has to make the play. Verno, the one that couldn't complete it previously.
Jonah P, show me that replay! Hello?
On the replay, that looked absolutely mental. Oh, come down to the gunfights. Can Aspas actually get a kill? The real he does. That's a great opener.
In a split second before the tail util comes in, he gets the shot now done the jaw. 1v3. Verno's down. He's knocking him apart.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop.
Stop,
Stop, bro! Oh my god! Nah, this guy's too good.
They did eventually put together a few rounds, ending the half at 4-8 in favor of G2.
The operator against 2. Ooh, okay, Leaf is down. Surely Jonah doesn't challenge this. Surely he sits back. Surely he lets him go.
G2 would have a much more comfortable time in the second half compared to the rest of the series, taking the map at 13-8, giving them the series at 2-0, and keeping their regional undefeated streak alive. This last map showed us just how dangerous the individuals on G2 are, with Leaf and Jogamo having a combined 50 kills on the map. The final day of the weekend opened with a matchup that, going in, felt like an easy win for one side. 2G vs LOUD was a matchup that was expected to go LOUD's way, but not for the normal reason. LOUD needed this win, as they started 0-1 with a rough loss to Crew, and who better to get a free win off of than the worst team in the league that just made a roster change. 2G had a lot of drama this week, with their IGL Zap getting dropped from the roster due to internal conflicts with the organization. So now, they needed a new player within a few days of their match against the best org in the history of South American Valorant. The player they brought up was PXS, a duelist/sentinel player from Brazilian Challengers, and now LZ would be the IGL for the team. Yes, the same LZ that did this.
Desperately trying to find something to cipher.
Oh no!
And when the agent select for Lotus came up, the expectations became even lower, with the duelist player they just brought up from Challengers now playing Initiator. LOUD would open this map with a 4-0 lead, surprising absolutely nobody. 2G would shockingly bring this half back though, with a 4-round streak, closing the half at 5-7 in favor of LOUD. And in the second half, 2G would open with the pistol and anti-eco, but the anti-bonus from LOUD would give them 3 rounds in a row, making the score 10-7 for LOUD.
The map, Silence brought down, it's going to be up to PXS here.
Oh, no, make it stop, man. That's just not okay.
Another 4K for Digizine. I would say 30 bomb not out of the question here. He is farming 26 and 12 after 18 rounds.
2G would pull back though, eventually going to overtime, where this happened for the rookie in his first map on the stage.
Leverage, Silence, and PXS here, sat on bend, trying to hold on, trying to huddle
PXS.
together. It's the newcomer PXS in a 1 versus 1. Over the top goes 2G, but he makes too much sound. The new blood
Sensational.
will get 2G to match.
Yo, someone in the crowd is excited about that.
Through the smoke,
And LZ got that kill too. Only 10 seconds left and it's a 3v3. Or 3v4,
Don't have any other
3v4.
options. With 3 players left to stay in the map, they've got to go for the
Oh my gosh, he died!
interrupted. And that's all she wrote.
2G took the map!
Limping into the game, we'll take it in overtime.
Nah, map win?
What are we doing here?
The second map, Pearl, would show us pretty similar comps from both sides. This map would open with 2G taking a 5-0 lead.
I mean, there's a late wrap. PXS is being held by the up and comes up.
Oh my gosh, how do you... You're going for more! You're going for more! You're sick in the head, bro. There we go, there we go. He got 3! But LOUD would recover this half, making the score 7-5 in 2G's favor.
Back for LOUD. This is scary here. And there's Askia emerging, takes Digizine down instantly. Kawanzine spotted out, of course. That's the Nightfall doing work. A second here for the 2G duelist. He's got to respect that special delivery. As the Steel Garter comes in and Askia. LOUD get into it, start to download him a little bit more. And there it is, folks. I power race for Askia.
The second half would open strong for 2G, with them picking up 4 rounds in a row, making the score 11-5, looking ready to run away with the series. LOUD was not about to allow themselves to get trampled over like this though.
Affected by it,
Dude,
but it'll still be a
Pancada,
cleanup. It's up to Pancada here versus 4. 2G now.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to give themselves a staging ground to end the series, but Pancada stands up.
Pancada! Oh my gosh, 1v4?
Still a moment left.
Wait, that's vintage, no? That's vintage Pancada right there! Despite some heroics and a great effort, LOUD were unable to complete the comeback.
I don't know if he's going to be ready for it, but it may not matter. 2G
10 seconds left.
on the precipice of doing it. In disarray, losing their leader, take their first win of Americas in a debut for PXS.
This would not only be 2G's first series win in VCT Americas, but also their first map win. And with a new IGL, as well as a new player coming into the team playing a role he has no matches on, this may be the biggest upset we've seen all year. The final series of the weekend was Cloud9 vs LEVIATÁN, which was one that didn't have very high expectations from many, but somehow still disappointed. The first map split showed us mirror comps from both teams, and yes, the LEVIATÁN roles were still the same, with King on Duelist and Demon 1 on Smokes. This map would open with a 4K from Demon 1 and some fun antics from Rossi.
So far winless in stage 1. Speaking, oh, yeah.
4, now Oxy, he's gonna drop here too to Max. Demon 1 cleans it up.
El Diablo's dead, there's a new king of hell.
And that was probably the best we'd see from Lev this whole series, with Cloud9 taking a comfortable 8-4 lead in the first half.
Footsteps aplenty and Rossi has no options to play around. Vic has played this beautifully.
And in the second half, they kept up their momentum, taking the map at 13-8. The second map Ascent would show us near identical comps, with Cloud9 picking Omen, Vice, Yoru, Sova, and Deadlock, while LEVIATÁN would pick basically the same thing, but with Cypher instead of Vice. And this map would be dominant from C9, with Vic in specific putting up an absurd performance.
Utility, because right now you even heard Itupata talk about
30
it.
seconds left. One enemy
They're
remains.
scared. LEVIATÁN are scared at utility on Cat or in main.
One enemy remains.
I mean, you definitely got to break the utility and
Have to use so much utility to clear out what they think is on the other side that's a telltale sign of where they're headed. And Net is the greeting party. Much that has been said around the double Senti utility and how miserable it feels to play around, but a couple more eco frags cleaned up for Cloud9, but I do think you're right as Demon 1 gets 2 of them. Vic gets the last, another round for Cloud9. Wants to take the fight, so he's gonna get ones, he's gonna get
confidence
ones!
holding his spot on B.
A Red Bull clutch and
M kills.
the flash is out. Vic gets his 2. He's already got 13,000 kills on the half. And he just continues to light it up.
Look at him. flawless round win from Cloud9.
Tatum from so far back.
He's so far away, and Demon 1, he knows that he wants to even the score before King gets here.
But he's got 19 HP.
He's so low.
I mean, what are you sending him out to do?
The double hell setup. Zeppa being the guarantee on catwalk.
The safety valve, if you will. King will fall. Demon 1, of course, on his own. Spam through the smoke, and if it's Vic, who else but Vic to get the last kill of the half? Bookended an outrageous series by him as Cloud9, I mean, you gotta call it what it is. Obliterate Lev.
This performance would give C9 the series at 2-0, embarrassing LEVIATÁN, and giving C9 a 2-0 start to Stage 1. That's it for the second week of VCT Americas Stage 1, and this is what the standings look like at the end of the week. I streamed all these matches live on Twitch and YouTube, so subscribe here or go follow my Twitch linked in the description to see more of me. I also make short recaps of these matches daily on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, so if you're interested in that, go take a look at those, which are also linked in the description. Anyways, that's it from me.